Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another Dawah Hour with myself. I've got with me my brother Richard. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Who's in a different location, bro? Where are you at?
I'm in the attic, man. Been kicked out to the attic.
Is that what you've been kicked out to? Nice.
That's it, man. No longer in the front room.
Kicked out to the attic, bro. I like it. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Good. One sec. My wife's watching, looking at what's going on. Yeah. I'm not right now. I'm in the middle of a show. What is going on? Right. And yeah. And the last but not least, Rich. What's his name? Nadeem couldn't make it, unfortunately. So we have with us a special guest, my brother. I haven't seen this brother for a while, man. Brother Imran. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, bro. Assalamu alaikum, guys.
Hey, bro.
MashaAllah. How are you, brothers?
I'm good. How are you, bro? Been a time, bro.
Yeah, good. Very good, bro. Alhamdulillah. So you can see I made a special effort today. I booked out a studio, got the sort of side lighting going on, top light, dark shadow.
I was gonna say
I'm in my car, man.
He's in an attic. Where are you?
I'm in my car.
It's lovely.
Yeah,
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Sometimes, bro, the car's the best place to do it, man. How's everything going, man?
Yes, very good, bro. Alhamdulillah. Continuing, Dawah's going good. Things will open. Let's hope they remain open, inshallah, over the next month or two.
All right, brother Imran. Let me tell you the format of this show. Have you been briefed on what's going on with this show?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Richard told me before the A to Z.
So we've been doing the A to Z of street Dawah. All right, where we basically So someone's asked in the comments, they're curious, unsure what this is about. I'll tell you what it's about. Yeah. So where we take a letter. We're going through the A to Z of street Dawah, where we take a letter of the alphabet. We're going through the letters of the alphabet. We'll take a letter of the alphabet, and we'll talk about what's related to that letter in relation to street Dawah. Yeah. So and that's basically it. And what we're trying to do more than anything is to give as much practical knowledge, practical application, practical tips and advice as we can when it comes to street Dawah, so that hopefully, inshallah, you brothers and sisters are hopefully going to be able to help set up teams across the UK with regards to, or around the world, to be honest, street Dawah and teams across the world on this stuff. So yeah, that's really pretty much what it's about. We've been covering. We're up to.
Sohail, how did it go last week? I wasn't here last week.
So last week, mashallah, last week we were on M, right? And all we covered was M. Yeah. So we went through normally we get through quite a few of them, but we just covered M because we had quite a few things like motivation. I can't remember what else we had, but there was quite a few. So we had a good discussion over that. So let's move on to right now we're on N. Yeah. So brother Richard, throw me N. What's what we got for N?
So N is for, we started with Niyyah, your intention.
Excellent. I think this is something that really we should have started with this one, right? We should have started with this one. N and for Niyyah, brothers and sisters. Just so you know, we're on N. So add to it, please. N for that's related to the street Dawah. What else is there? That's N. That's related to street Dawah. Yeah. So Niyyah, we really should have started with this one because this is, I think, is a foundation. It's a fundamental part of Dawah, and really it's a fundamental part of anything that you do when it comes to Islam. Any action, any ibadah, as we know, that as a principle, none of our actions are accepted. Acts of worship are accepted unless they have two conditions, and this being one of them: your intention, that you're sincere, right? You're sincere in your intention when it comes to doing things for the sake of Allah. So, doing it with ikhlas, yeah. So intention is a very important thing. Now, the way I break down intention, brothers and sisters, and this is something, again, and I've probably mentioned it a few times, but this is something that when it comes to the Dawah, there's a few things that I want to talk about when it comes to Niyyah, right? The intention, and when I talk about intention, I'm talking about sincerity as well. I'm linking it together, okay? But your intention has to be for the sake of Allah. that when you're doing this dawah, you're doing it for Allah's will. You're doing it for the sake of Allah alone. All right. Not only that, but dawah deserves. You need to do. You need to be sincere when it comes to the dawah itself. Be sincere towards yourself when you're giving dawah. So you're not doing it to show off. You're not doing it for anyone, for cameras or anything like that. And also your niyyah, your intention and sincerity. I know I've linked the two together. Ikhlas and niyyah I've kind of linked together. They go hand in hand from what I see. That you're sincere when you're giving dawah to the person you're giving dawah to. So that I would say is an important part of your dawah when it comes to niyyah. That your intention, you're doing it for the sake of Allah. And I'll be very frank. I'll be very, very honest. You can have all the knowledge in the world. You can have the best dawah table. You can have the best material. All of this stuff. But if your intention is not right, your dawah will not be successful. Your dawah will not be fruitful. So that's what I would add to that, and that's the point. I don't know, Imran, have you got anything to add to that, bro?
No, not really, bro. I can hear myself.
I'll mute. Go.
Yeah, it's to be honest, it's as simple as that, bro. It's something very simple, but it's very difficult at the same time, I guess. It's a simple step, get your intention right. But to try and do that is a whole another story in and of itself. So maybe you guys can share some thoughts on how brothers and sisters can practically now, okay, they want to do dawah, they have the intention, or they know they need to make the intention. How do they go about doing that? Because intention, it becomes increasingly difficult the more your action is public facing, and the dawah is always public facing, right? Even if you're speaking to one person, you're speaking to someone. So your intention is always going to be challenged. So what do you guys do practically to really try nail it?
Richie?
Practically, I think it's easy every single time you're going to go to the dawah stall or any event. Sometimes you just wake up, not ready, half asleep, and just head out. I think for me is you got to take a moment, even if it's just 10 seconds, 1 second, to really think about why you're doing this and the purpose behind why you're doing it. Why are you going out on a Saturday, a Sunday, a Monday, whatever, and why are you calling to Allah? Why are you doing this? And reminding yourself, even whilst you're doing it, continuously reminding yourself about it. Because otherwise you can sort of become not robotic, but okay, you get up, you head out, you do it. So it's always about, I think, reminding yourself. And I think that comes from, again, spending time in circles of knowledge, maybe spending time in the masjid, maybe increasing on your own knowledge. It always helps you remind. So that's me personally. I think that's what is doing, spending that time to really reflect upon it. I don't say what you do.
I'll tell you what I do, Imran. Okay. What? Yeah. When I used to do the dawah, well, I haven't done dawah for a while. Well, I did a few weeks ago. Yeah. But I'll tell you what I do. What I tend to try and do anyway. So if I go on the dawah stall, it'll be like I'm doing the dawah stall for like maybe 2 hours, 1.5 hours, right? I will say to myself, this block of time is Allah's time. Yeah. I'll say this is Allah's time. I'm going to spend it, and I'm saying this to myself. I'm saying this to Allah as well. Ya Allah, this is your time. I'm spending this in your. It's like when you do, and I've mentioned this before as well on a few previous shows. It's like when you go to Tarawih, and you come back after Tarawih, and you're knackered, yeah, because you just stood for like an hour and a half. But in reality, what you've done is you've spent an hour in ibadah, and you've said to Allah, this hour was for you, yeah. I do the same thing when it comes to the dawah. I'm like, this is the hour, or this is the time I'm going to spend for you. So what I try and do with the best of my ability is make sure I don't like sit on my phone, have my phone out. I keep my phone in my pocket, and I just focus on the task at hand, which is the dawah itself. But if I go in with that intention, that for me practically helps me to go, this time period that I'm here, that's for you, Allah. So I think that's my practical do. I don't know if you've got any others, Imran, bro.
No, it's similar, bro. I think it's because the reason I asked, because a lot of times it's difficult for people to sort of actualize these concepts, the things that we believe in that are central to our practice.
Yeah.
Like intention. We talk about intention. It's important to make intention and do it for the sake of Allah. But a lot of times people get really stuck on okay, how do I now practically do that? Especially when it comes to an activity like Dawah, where I'm going to be, it's all, it's in front of people, people are watching. So that's it. Just I think between what you and Richard said, take some time beforehand. Don't just go into it, haphazardly, just, without thinking about it. And you know what, bro, a lot of times these days we just do things without thinking about them. A lot of the things we do even during our days, it's almost like routine. We just don't think, we just do. But when it comes to giving dawah and any other act of worship, we should really take a moment to sort of ask ourselves some important questions, like, why am I doing this? What are the consequences of doing this for the right reasons, and what are the consequences of doing it for the wrong reasons? And just sitting and thinking about it for a while, bro, really helps. It really puts things into perspective.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I was going to mention a few things. I was going to ask you, bro, because I know, mashallah, tabarakallah. I mean, you've been in the public eye more than myself and brother Richard, and I think it may, I don't know if it affects you more or not. I don't know, because you probably do get a lot of people, a lot of eyes on you, and how do you deal with something like that then? How do you deal with it? And I think intention, when we talk about intention, it's not something that you just think about it at the beginning, right? It's something that's continuous, right? Throughout the act or the task that you're doing. It's at the beginning, it's during, and it's at the end as well, right? But yourself, like I said, for yourself, like, you are more in the public eye than, I guess, than others. And how do you deal with that then? Like, when you, like, let's be fair, you're in Speaker's Corner, you've got a lot of Muslims coming, watching you, watching you smash an atheist and all that. Yeah. Like, how do you keep your Indian? How do you keep your
That's back in the day, bro. I'm not in Speaker's Corner much these days.
But you get my point, yeah?
Try to avoid Speaker's Corner, yeah.
Well, that would be one. That would definitely be one way of resolving it. Is like not going to places. But how in those situations, how would you have dealt with it then?
Yeah, so I don't think people should avoid, like, doing what they feel they can do in the dawah, right? I don't think people should avoid it, because if you avoid it, bro, if you sit in your room all day long, worried about, okay, my intention is going to be wrong, well, it defeats the purpose.
That's true.
You're not doing anything. It's like you're not doing any actions. So you're not going to be, number one, you're not going to be improving yourself as far as trying to get things right. And you're not going to be putting yourself up for gaining reward potentially, right? So you're just doing nothing. You're wasting. You're not doing what a Muslim is supposed to do, which is to act. So definitely do the action. But before you do it, one of the other things about intention, it fluctuates, like you said. There's times where you feel you have it more on point, and then there's times where you're really struggling, right? So you're going to go through these are natural waves, right? These ups and downs, just like iman goes up and down, right? One of the things I've noticed over the years, like, I've had my down moments where I know my intention's been all, like, over the place. One of the things I've noticed time and again, your intention, look, we're doing it. The idea behind niyyah is you're doing this for the sake of Allah, right? So you're singling Allah out. Now, you can only do something, really do something for someone, even in this world, right? You can only dedicate something to someone if you know them, right? If you know them, and if you have some sort of relationship with them, and ideally if you have love towards them, because love is that emotion that really moves people to do things, and you would say sincerely, right? And even in worldly love, the relationship of love between, it could be between parents and kids, it could be between it could be between husband and wife, whatever the case is. Love it's a very, how do I put it, it's a very pure emotion, whereby when you act in love, it's always honest and it's sincere, right? And you see people going out of their way to do things out of love for people. So, and this is something, when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to love Allah. Ibadah is not just obedience, it's obedience via love, through love, loving Allah and obeying Allah because you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Love is a key element of ibadah. It's not just obey, that's it. It's just obey and not love Allah. Loving Allah is central. Loving Allah and loving the Prophet ﷺ these are two key things that every Muslim has to have. Now, how do we get that, right? So what I've noticed, long story short, is when you're closer to Allah, if you can really work on your relationship with Allah, draw closer to Him, increase your love for Allah, that automatically, it helps with your intention. Because now you know who you're doing it for. You're doing it for the one you love the most, in the ideal situation. So that's really gonna help with your
Yeah.
intention. You know? But when you times when you're distant from Allah for whatever reason, those are the times you really feel like, okay, I'm saying I need to do this for Allah, but what does that even mean to me right now?
Yeah. Beautiful. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. I wanted to touch on one thing you actually said also is that don't let like temptation be a stumbling block or a barrier for you not to go out and do dawah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that you think, oh, my intention is going to come corrupt. Like, come on, man, we do that. That's life, right? That's everything. That's like saying I'm not going to pray because my intention could become corrupt, right? It's like, no, you know, look, I like the way I've seen it and the way I look at it, yeah, is you're going to be in a battle with Shaitan, regardless whether you like it or not. Shaitan is gonna look. Whereas he's our enemy, and we are his enemy, right? We are going to be locked in a battle with Shaitan. So the believer is not the one who, you know, oh, Shaitan's going to battle me. I don't know what to do. I'm going to cower away. No, we stand up and fight, right? Against Shaitan, against our desires. We stand up and deal with these things, right? So this is, I think, is a very important part of the believer, right? And I think it links very closely to what you were saying, Imran, bro, about if you can work on your relationship with Allah, like that is where the strength lies in dealing with your keeping your intentions purely for his sake. Yeah. So alhamdulillah. Yeah, bro Richie, any comments on this topic of
any comments?
Niyyah?
We got somebody who commented. Let me find it.
While Richie's looking for comments, brothers and sisters, please can you share and like this stream, please? Make sure you like. I want to see some more likes, yeah, and share the stream, please. No, is there any comments on the actual of intention before we go into other letters of start with N? So, brothers and sisters, also if you have any other letters that start with N for street dawah, please put them in the comments as well. All right, so brother Muhammad, yeah, go on, Richie.
Doing something for the sake of Allah, your heart should be happy and peaceful, not a problem at all.
Yeah, good. Alhamdulillah. I think
the more you do something for the sake of Allah, the harder the test will be.
Absolutely, man, and that's it. Life is a test. That's what life is about. Let's look at this as a reality of life. Yeah, good. Any more?
That's it. I think.
All right. Any other letters from the viewers?
So someone put niceness. So I guess manners,
good.
being nice.
Niceness is a huge part. Again, our akhlaq is a huge part of our dawah. Good. Any more?
Somebody put N for Nabi. So I guess maybe speaking about the Prophet Muhammad.
All right. I would like some clarification on what you mean by this. I think it's a sister, right? Nilofer, what do you mean by Nabi? Can you give some more clarification or elaboration on what you mean by Nabi? I think I know what you mean, but it'd be nice to hear what else you've got to say about that, because I want to get your actual.
This is a good one. Never give up on people.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think your dawah, you have to expect that in your dawah is you can't think, brothers and sisters, that when you're giving dawah to someone, you're like, and okay, I'm gonna jump on my soapbox on this in a little while, right? But you can't expect to just say, oh well, I give dawah to them, that's it, they're going to hellfire now, and they didn't accept Islam, and you're like, well, I did my job. I think that's a very, although okay, so yes, it's about establishing the hujjah, right? And I think some people look at it like this, the mindset of being you establish the hujjah with a person so that they have no excuse in front of Allah on the Day of Judgment, right? But there's an element that's related to that. I think that you want that person to accept Islam as well. It's not that you just sit there and go, well, I gave him the message, and if he didn't accept it, that's his problem or her problem, right? And I think that's a very bad. I would say that's not the right attitude to have when it comes to your dawah. Your dawah shouldn't be like that. Okay, so I don't know, Imran, have you got anything to add to that one, bro?
No, I think you're spot on, bro. It's, you shouldn't give up on people, or you shouldn't. I think it's the wrong mindset, bro. Like just to speak to people once, and that's pretty much it. Like Nuh alayhi salam is a beautiful example of this. I mean,
Good point.
he addressed his community for 950 odd years, bro. And think about that, a community of people in a town or a place back then, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about very few people compared to today, a town today, for example, or a city today. Now he was addressing the same people over and over again, right?
Yeah.
And the rejection's been going on for centuries. Right? He never gave up until the very end, right? Like that's when you like that's something to shoot for. Although we never get there, because one, we're not gonna have never lived that long, and two, we're not in the position of a prophet. But the point is, it is a lesson to take from that, which is you get rejection once, keep going, twice, keep going. You have to have thick skin. You know, you have to have really thick skin. And if your intention, going back to Nia, if your intention's right, and you're doing this for the sake of Allah, well then, you know, a rejection shouldn't be the thing that puts you off or stops you.
Yeah, true.
You know, it shouldn't be the issue.
How do you deal with rejection, bro? Not in that sense, but in like in the Dawah sense, yeah. How do you deal with like reject when people like don't accept the message that you've given them?
Well, here's something I do. Yeah, again, it's in preparation. Going back to what Richard said earlier, preparation is key. And what a part of my preparation is, I go in thinking about the worst case scenario. Okay, what is the worst case scenario?
Okay, good.
Worst case scenario is these people are gonna ridicule you. They're gonna laugh at you. They may get violent at the very worst, which most people don't. Work with that idea for a little while. Okay, if that happens, so what? Right? Has that prevented me from getting my reward if my intention, inshallah, is correct? No. Right? Has that prevented me from giving dawah? No, because the dawah is to share the message, not to ensure the shahada. So, fine. Become okay with the worst case scenario in your mind. And when you become okay with it psychologically, then you'll notice, I mean, the fear and anxiety disappears because you've accepted, because anxiety and fear stem from the unknown, the future unknown, right? Now, if you always have that fear of the future unknown, then you're always going to have anxiety. But if you can get to grips with the worst case scenario, that's it. There's no more anxiety or fear, you know. But it's, again, you have to sit down and you have to go through these things. You have to really check yourself before you go in.
Good. It's what was that? What was the phrase? Expect the worst, hope for the best. Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like that. It's like having, you know, dealing with expectations as well. I think is an important part. But yeah, you always have hope as well. Alhamdulillah. Right. Good one. Richie, next one.
Never give up.
So this is a good one. So this is like, we've had never give up on people, but then we've also have just don't give up, full stop. Right? Don't think that just because you've done dawah once, that's it. Just you didn't get, look, just because you've done dawah once or twice and you didn't get shahadas, that's not the end of it. Like, if you think, brothers and sisters, that the dawah is all about getting shahadas, like that's your goal, then it's the wrong goal, right? It's a measurement you could use to like have a look at how well your dawah is going, or to work on your dawah. But to be honest, at the end of the day, still guidance comes from Allah, right? But if you think that that is the be all and the end all in terms of a goal, like let's see how many shahadas we get. If we can get loads of shahadas, trust me, it's the wrong way to look at it. And I've given my examples of this before. I'm talking practically from my own personal experience, right? In a week, Discover Islam Week in Newcastle University, I took 25 shahadas, right, in that week. At the end of the week, when I called them all up, half of them didn't answer. Half of them said, no, we didn't accept Islam. In fact, 0 of them stayed Muslim, right? So it's not about like your numbers and thinking about how many shahadas you can get. No, please don't think about it like that. The goal is to share the message of Islam. Whatever Allah decides with the negative people after that is up to them. Is up to Allah, sorry, right? So it's not about that. So, but don't give up. Don't just sit there and go, oh, well, I didn't get any shahadas this week. I didn't get any shahadas this week, the week after week after week. No, it's just not about that. Again, we go back to the story of Nuh alayhi salam as the person who didn't give up. He continued his dawah. And in fact, brothers and sisters, we will have prophets that will come on the day of judgment who will have no followers, right? There's going to be prophets and messengers on the day of judgment that will have no followers. But I'm going to ask you the question, did they do their job or not as a prophet, as a messenger? Did they do their job? Of course they did. Of course, they spread the message of Islam. Their job was to share the message of Islam. So they did their job, but Allah chose not to guide people from that. Yeah. So it's not. Don't be shahada focused. Be message focused. Right, Imran.
Yeah, man, absolutely, bro. Like I was just thinking, in the Prophet ﷺ, he never gave up on his community. He, to the point where they almost they were going to, kill him, literally, right? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired him to leave, but he continued, and even through the boycotts and the persecution and everything, he continued his da'wah. So and this is a trait of all of the prophets. It's fun, like it's all of them. If you think about it, bro, they all faced, every single one of them faced challenges from the community, right? None of them came in, gave the dawah, and people just accepted their message immediately, right?
Yeah, true.
They all faced resistance, and they all continued through that resistance. That shows us, the dawah. It's not the dawah. The successful dawah is not directly correlated with the number of shahadas that you get. People need to understand this, right? It's the best outcome, inshallah, if Allah wills, right? But it's not a direct correlation which tells you, oh, your dawah was bad. So if your number of shahadas is low, your dawah is bad. There's no such correlation.
Yeah.
The quality of your dawah is determined by your sincerity. That's it. That's the bottom line. And how clearly you deliver the message. Because all the prophets deliver the message clearly to the best of their ability.
Yeah, good.
So if we can just focus on those things, delivering the message clearly, and that comes with knowledge, right? Having the knowledge about what you're speaking about, and sincerity, that's it. That's all you need to focus. Don't worry about this. Have the aspiration, absolutely, that Allah guides someone through you, because we know the potential reward for that. But never think that has to be a necessary outcome. It doesn't.
Good. Nice one. Jazakallah khair. Brother Richie, anything else to add to that?
I think we've got a good comment here, which I didn't really think about. Right. They said Naum, which means sleep.
Yes.
Said to be well rested in order to perform well.
Yeah, man. That's a good one. You know what? I just like it because the fact that it's sleep, bro. That's that's a good one for me, man. I'm not gonna lie, I had a quick nap before we came on the show today, and I needed my nap in, bro. But that's a good one. It's like with anything. And you know what? With the right niyyah, your naum can be ibadah.
SubhanAllah.
Right? That's it. With the right intention, your sleep can become ibadah. All that time you're sleeping can be ibadah. Because if you're saying that you did it for the sake of Allah, so that you have that strength, that you are well rested, so that you can go and give dawah, that all becomes worship. Amazing.
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's journey to Ta'if is the best example of never give up and being really tolerant as well.
Really good example, alhamdulillah. So we have it in the Asiyah, we have it in the seerah of how the Prophet ﷺ was resilient, he didn't give up. Any other comments? There was one before I saw, I think the sister answered what she meant by Nabi.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's right.
Nabi meant our Prophet.
Go. Thank you. Sorry, my son's just giving me a phone of me being live on air. I don't even know whose phone this is. All right, anyway, sorry.
Okay. So yeah, she said that she means for Nabi, she meant the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but what about how are we linking the Prophet ﷺ to street dawah? Is my question. Sorry, sister. What is it about the N for Nabi? So I like I say, I think and how I understand this and how I would use this, and this one specifically for N is that we talk about the Prophet ﷺ and we talk about proofs of why the Prophet is the Prophet of God. That's what I would have meant by that. But I don't know if the sister had something else that's different with relation to that. I don't know. There was another one I saw.
Notes. Oh,
it was another one. No, alayhi salam. Nature. You missed all these, bro. What are you doing, man? All right, hold on. Where are we? Okay.
You take over.
What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? All right. Nature. What do you mean by nature?
Yeah, so say, what do they mean? That's
right. Aisha, please clarify. What do you mean by nature? We'll come back to that one. I saw another one. News of good tidings. So, Imran, do you want to take this one?
No, go ahead, bro.
So the Prophet ﷺ was indeed a giver of glad tidings, but also a warner, right? And I think they go hand in hand very well. And yes, I think when it comes to your dawah should be a mix of the two as well. Because, like, let me just do a quick exercise, right? Hands up in the studio, or hands up in the at home. Which one would you? Are you more Jannah orientated, or are you more Jahannam orientated? Right. What I mean by that is, does talking about paradise motivate you to do good deeds, or does talking about Jahannam, hellfire, motivate you to do good deeds? Which one are you guys?
Jannah orientated.
Are you? I think I'm Jahannam, to be honest with you. I think I'm more. If you start talking about hellfire to me, I think I'll do more. I think it pushes me further. But look, people are right. I think people do sway one or the other, right? I don't know if anyone else in the audience, right? So, mashallah, there's a lot of Jannah ones, yeah. All right,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah. But yeah, but the point is that, right, is that people have a different, preference or orientation, right? Jannah orientation, what I mean. And so, like, that motivates you to do certain things. So, when you give your dawah, yeah, you may talk about the glad tidings, all right, the news of glad tidings, but you may talk about the news of the warning as well, and that one of them might hit with that person, right? So I think as a da'i, what's important is knowing the person you're talking to, or trying to gauge the person you're talking to. Would you agree with that, brother Imran?
Yeah, yeah. Just about the only thing I'd add is I think people predominantly are carrot orientated, between carrot and stick.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Jannah or Jahannam, right? They're more carrot. That's what you see even in the Quran when the prophets, when they speak to the people, firstly they talk about all the good things, the glad tidings, and then the warning comes in when they start resisting, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like you give the people the benefit of the doubt, but then still you have to assume there's going to be people that for whatever reason, arrogance, attachment to the dunya, it's just not going to shake them enough, and then you get the stick as well, basically, right? So these are and it's powerful, bro, because this is coming from Allah. He knows our psychology. He created us, right? So Allah knows both. We need a mix. At the end of the day, we need a mix of both. Most people need a mix of both to get moving, basically. And you know what, bro? It's interesting. Most people say Jannah orientated, yeah? Come to think of it, those of us that say we're Jannah orientated, we don't like to think about Jahannam much because it's scary, right?
Yep.
So if anything, that's indirectly resulting in our orientation anyway, right? It's such a place that we don't want to go to, that we even mentally stay away from and think about the glad tidings, right?
Yeah.
So even then, there's a mix of both always that motivates us.
Yeah, subhanAllah, very true, man. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, absolutely, the carrot and the stick, man. That was a good way of putting it. All right. Yeah, man, it was a stick, bro.
Carrot, man. Only if people moved by just the carrot, that would be perfect.
True. Very, very true, man. Richie, any your comments?
The sister came back and she's clarified that the brother sister came back and said characteristics of the Prophet as a guidance.
Yes. Look, I mean, again, yeah, absolutely. When you're giving your dawah, especially for street dawah, take on the characteristics of the Prophet ﷺ, how he was, how his actions were, and yeah, absolutely a massive part of your dawah in your street dawah. Very good point, sister. Thank you very much for that clarification. Excellent. Big up to yourself too, Lala Ruh. All right, good.
Well, I had one which was Nasiha, which was
right. Good. Let me come to you now, Richie. What you had? You had what? Sorry.
Nasiha, like advising one another.
Okay, are you talking about advising the dawah team within each other, or are you talking about Nasiha to the non-Muslim?
I'd say both. I say advising, the brothers and sisters on, in the dawah, advising one another about, how we're doing things and things like that, as well as sincerely advising, I guess, who you're speaking to, I guess, being in the moment, truly trying to advise them and speak with them, not just, I don't know, reading from a script.
Yeah, it's a good one. Honestly, bro, I mean, I remember, I always talk about the car dawah, yeah? the dawah in the car, right? When you're with one-to-one with a person, it's like a very intimate moment, and you can really have a good conversation with someone. And really, like, you know, that nasiha. I remember there's a time when I spoke to someone, and I was very, it was very like sincere. It was very like it was real. It got really real. It's like, look, you know, I want good for you, you know, and I believe Islam will be good for you. And I mean, he didn't accept. He knew it was true, but he didn't accept. But subhanallah, I think nasiha is a massive part when it comes to your dawah, because what's the phrase? What comes from the heart goes to the heart. If you're sincere and you really say it from the heart, it will penetrate that brother, the person's heart. You know, that brother or sister, a non-Muslim that you're talking to. So yeah, good one. Any more, Richie? You've got any more?
I think a lot of them have been said, to be honest.
Okay, good.
You know.
Imran, any ends? Have you got any ends for street dawah?
Nothing else is coming to mind, bro.
All right, cool.
Nah, nothing else.
All right, let's move on, bro. Element O. Always four.
Always four. We put organization or organizing yourselves.
Good. All right. So, subhanallah, yeah. When it comes to street dawah, brothers and sisters, we're talking practically here, right? Is that you need to be organized. Subhanallah, look, the dawah deserves the best, right? The dawah deserves the best. And we should be organized. Like, we go to our work, we're organized in our work. We're organized even before we start work, what we're going to wear, how we're going to dress, how we're going to get there. We're organized. Well, most of us are, right? But we're organized. We're organized when we get to work. We're organized when we come home, right? We're organized when you're doing your exams, right? But what about the dawah? Does the dawah deserve that we just rock up on the dawah stall, or in the doing street dawah? Doesn't matter what we're wearing, what we're doing, we just rock up without any preparation or anything. No, of course not. The dawah also deserves us to be organized, okay? And I'll give some practical tips on that, inshallah, in a bit. But I'm going to come to Imran, and maybe Imran's got some practical tips when it comes to organization. What do we mean by organizing ourselves when it comes to the dawah? Right, Imran, have you got anything to add to that one, please?
Yeah, everything, man. Like like you said, bro, it deserves the best. You know, so imagine you working for, if you landed a job with, say, Apple, right?
Yeah.
Or Samsung, or one of these big companies, Amazon or whatever. And it wasn't any job, you know, you were going to be their chief representative, basically, the front facing guy, basically, of the company, the face of the brand. Yeah. Now, imagine landing such a job. Now, it will almost be fitri, bro, for you to make sure that you are organized from your physical appearance to what you're going to say, how you carry yourself, you know, and all of these things. Yeah, you would make sure all of these things are in place. Why? Well, because you understand the importance of the role, you understand the opportunity you've been given, how fortunate you are. You know, you value it, basically, right? So if that's the case with all of these worldly occupations and amazing things that we may consider amazing, what about the dawah? You know, this is literally the best job in the world, right? Period. Then, well, if we understand the value of giving dawah, well, then what if we're not organized? Well, then something's not right somewhere in our chain of or trail of thinking. So it's almost, it should be something that naturally, you know, happens. And being organized means, you know, again, make sure that you're not just turning up whatever scruffy to the occasion. You know that you're well kept within reason. You know that you are prepared as far as what you're gonna say. You've done your research. You've been working on your knowledge. You've done some mental checks where you don't go beyond your bounds, because that's very easy to do in the dawah. And again, if you're prepared for it, you can catch yourself, right? Yeah. Many times we find ourselves in a conversation, and brother or sister would just start talking about something they have no clue about, just because they're put on the spot and they feel they have to give an answer. Now, if you had prepared previously and just reminded yourself, no, my job is only to speak about what I know with clarity and remain silent on things I don't know, get help from someone else, well, then you're prepared, right? You're organized to face any possible situation that may face you. So it includes all of these things, bro. And more specifically, if we're to focus in, you know, say you're doing a campaign, you're doing a Dawah table, street Dawah table weekly. That organization means getting your team ready, getting them motivated, making sure you're there on time, making sure you got all the permission that you need to get, making sure all the materials are organized, everything, right? So it's from governance to your preparation to the way you carry yourself, everything, bro, literally.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll give you again, going back to practical example. I'll give you a practical example of the Dawah store that we have in Newcastle, right? So our beloved brother Majid, who's the head of the Dawah store, right? So Majid will send a text because we do the Dawah store on the Saturday. Majid will send a text in the WhatsApp group, saying Dawah store, the time, who's in, right? And then people will say, yeah, we're in, right? So then they will meet at the center. They will get all the Dawah equipment. Two brothers will go and get all the Dawah equipment, and then take it to and that'll be organized. But the Majid will organize all of that. The materials are all organized. And in fact, big up to Brother Daniel. I don't know if he's listening, but Brother Daniel, he actually spent a whole day organizing the Dawah materials, right? Getting all the Dawah materials ready, because that shelf that we used to have of all the Dawah materials was a bit of a mess, right? So subhanallah, and Daniel's very meticulous now, right? Because if someone puts any sort of material on there, like even if it's like a wrapper or something, he'll take a picture of it and he'll be like in the group, who's put this here? Why is this here? This is for the Dawah table, yeah? To the point where he's like, look, if you don't keep this Dawah table, this Dawah shelf, all the materials, where the materials are, if you don't keep this clean, I will make dua against you, right? So this is how far this brother goes, right? But it's all with a good intention, right? Because it's look, he wants to make sure the Dawah material is organized and it's kept organized. Yeah, mashallah, brother Daniel, right? Big up Daniel, yeah. All right, yeah, okay. So, yeah, the Dawah materials organized. So Majid will come with a couple of brothers to get the Dawah table. He will get the materials, the bag with all the materials in it, and they will go to the location, and the brothers will meet them at their location, right? It's organized. It's very well organized, mashallah, tabarakallah. So like this is the point what we're trying to make when it comes to organization. Like, be organized. Be organized the day before. Be organized on the day. Be organized afterwards as well. All right. So that's another huge part of being organized. I don't know, Richie, have you got anything else to add to that one as well, bro?
Yeah, I think you covered it. I think a lot of stuff may seem small, like you're saying, or having the material prepared, but you need it because you come in on the Saturday or the day you're doing it. You need to see what everything is. Okay, we're doing a specific exhibition, maybe on Jesus and Islam. Okay, where's the banners? Yes, where's the material? Have we planned maybe a specific training to deal with the topic for the Dawah stall? This all needs organization, needs planning. So it's important. Otherwise, obviously, there's still benefit, there's still goodness in going out and speaking to people. But if it's not organized and planned, it's not going to be as effective, I don't think.
Yeah, subhanallah. Very good point, man. Anything from the comments on organization?
Organizing by having experts on certain topics.
That's a good one, I think. Again, if we're talking about like you said, like an exhibition of some sort or something like that, or if there's anything to do with atheists, yeah, you get Imran and make sure you get the experts in, yeah. But yeah, absolutely, organizing. And I think this is more for events rather than street Dawah itself. Events need to be organized and have the right people to do them. Yep, Dawah deserves the best to be competent and successful. Yeah, you need to be organized 100%. Yep. Sorry, any more?
On organization, no, but we've got other comments for other
All right,
ideas.
give me some more O's, brothers and sisters. Bring your O's now. O's for street Dawah. What are your O's for street Dawah? What you got, bro, Richie? Anyone in the comments?
We've got be open with the person you're giving Dawah to. So be open with them, not closed off. Similar one, open-minded.
What do you mean by that? Go back. What do you mean by that?
You want to go back?
What do you mean by that? Be open to the person you're giving Dawah to. What do you mean by that? Or what do you think it means by that?
I think be open, be like relaxed, engaged.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Like be welcoming type of thing. Be welcoming, is that type of thing as well? All right.
Sister Amal put open-mindedness. Keep an open mind when dealing with difference of opinion and convictions.
Good. I think that is a huge part of Dawah, as always, as all the comments that you've mentioned. The reason I say that's a huge part of Dawah is because you can't be so close-minded in thinking. And Imran, I'm going to come to you for this as well, and what your thoughts are on this, bro, because I think a lot of the times when, and you may have noticed this as well, is that when people are giving Dawah, like they have their own objective, their own thing that they're going to talk about, and regardless of whatever the other person's saying, you're just going to go, no, I'm talking about this. I'm going to talk about this. And I don't know if it deals with the issue and you just come and like people just start clashing, right? Is that what happens?
Yeah, it happens a lot, bro. Again, it all boils down to your reasons for being there, isn't it, bro? Like, and again, with the change of intention, bro, everything changes, literally. Like, and it can happen mid-conversation, right? Where your intention shifts and everything goes with it, basically. And then you're now talking to that person or talking over that person, listening to them, and therefore you're not addressing them, which is a big problem, bro. And this is why even in the Go Rap, when we teach the Go Rap, we're like, this is a structure for you to ensure that you stay on track.
Yeah.
But there's going to be situations where you're going to have to sway away at times and then come back. You can't be rigid in your dawah, because every single person is different, bro. Everyone's going to bring something to the table. You may be in a dawah conversation and you're on God's existence and they agree, and before you go to they open up about something and they start talking about something that happened in their life. You're not going to ignore that now and go to because that may be a clue for what's going to work with that person, So I guess in a way is another which is you have to be an opportunist in a positive sense, which is okay, if they're giving you something, that's key information. They're telling you something which is personal to them. There may be a clue there as to what's going to awaken that truth within them. There's going to be a clue there as to what's going to lead them to Islam, right? So don't just jump to the to the and R. It's not supposed to be robotic. So I think open-mindedness it's a key one, which is don't go in there assuming what's going to work for this person. Everyone's different,
I like that. Good, alhamdulillah. Richie, any more?
Observe. Maybe they can clarify what they mean by that.
What do you think they mean by that, Richie?
I think it's just being aware, I guess, of who you're speaking to, maybe their background. Exactly like Imran's saying, the points that they're talking about may be relevant to why they're not accepting Allah's existence or Islam. That's how I understand it.
Please clarify, elaborate. Sorry, not clarify. Elaborate. What do you mean by observe? Because, let me give you something. Let me just add to observe, right? So, especially for newcomers, right? Especially for new, and this is a good tip, practical tip for the street dawah. If you're new to the street dawah, if you're new to the street dawah, then sometimes you don't want to go head first, right? So, observe some of the more senior members, more experienced members on the dawah stall, just for a few, maybe for one or two occasions, one or two sessions, and then you can start getting into it. But if you're like the type of person who just likes to get stuck in, by all means get stuck in. But observation was a good way to start when it comes to the dawah stall. You do have online videos as well of different places, but I would say when you want to observe, I would say observe real street dawah settings as opposed to, and again, I'm not knocking the Hyde Park stuff or the Speaker's Corner, but it's a specific type of style of dawah or it's a specific, I don't know, how would you describe it, Imran?
It's a specific environment, bro. So it's it's gonna, and it is what it is. There's some benefit there, but then it's not the ideal. Like the one thing I always say, and I think people need to understand, when you think of dawah online, you go to YouTube, most of the times you'll see Speaker's Corner videos that's pushed by the algorithm and they're very popular and people watch them. This is not dawah as it is in 99% of the places across the world, right? When it comes to teams engaging with the local community, etc. This is a novel situation, right? Where is an environment which is designed for people to come together and debate and discuss and do all of this type of stuff, right? So don't expect, if you live in, say, in somewhere in Asia, to And don't do this. Don't take the same approach you see the brothers taking Speaker's Corner with your local, milkman or your local baker. Yeah, just take it easy, and you're supposed to be, all of the stuff we cover in our training. Have best of characteristics, best of manners, relax, be open-minded. A lot of stuff we were talking about today. Listen to people, engage with people honestly, authentically, genuinely. Be concerned about them. So yeah, that's something people need to really understand, because it's hard, bro. When you're online, you're watching this stuff, and you haven't yet got involved in Dawah. It's very easy to fall into thinking that this is the epitome of Dawah. This is how it's supposed to be. It's not.
On that note, brothers and sisters, just so you're aware, we will be going live on our Dawah store on Saturday, inshallah, if I can get there.
Cool. Truth matters.
Is Johnny there?
Doing the live. I'm supposed to do the live.
Is Johnny going to be there? Love Guru.
I think Johnny's working, man. Johnny's working all the time, man. That kid, man. But anyway,
missing his loving energy, bro.
I know, man. He was here last week. He was on last week.
SubhanAllah. I missed him, man.
There it is.
Cool. Truth matters clarified a bit more what they meant by open.
Right. Got it.
They meant to be honest.
Yeah, good point. I mean, I think your Dawah, you've got to be honest. Don't be like making lies or anything like that, especially about Allah and His Messenger. Yeah, next.
Opportunist that
good.
Imran mentioned. That's a good one.
Yep.
Opportunity, similar.
Yeah.
It's about Dawah in general.
Well, yeah, I think opportunity, it's all about finding the opportunities to give Dawah. And yeah, look, this is a good one, because it's like, don't just think Dawah is just for the street Dawah, right? When you've got a table on a Saturday, don't think that you're restricted to giving Dawah only at this time and space, right? Like, imagine you're sitting on a train or on a bus or somewhere, and the conversation of Islam comes up to you with someone next to you, and you're like, no, it's not a Saturday, it's not 1 o'clock. I can't give. I'm not doing Dawah here. No, of course not. Of course, like Dawah is, you find the opportunities to talk to about Islam. And if you brought, like, brothers and sisters, if you find any opportunity that Islam comes up, like, take that opportunity, man. Just take the opportunity to share your religion. It's not difficult to just share like a little bits and pieces, especially about who Allah is, etc. Take that opportunity, man. SubhanAllah. Absolutely. Yeah. Any more?
That's all I caught. Lots of comments about what we've been said, but no, that's it.
All right. Good. Alhamdulillah. Look, I think that's a good way to. It's a good place to.
There's one more, bro. I want to mention quickly.
Go on.
I think ownership is very big as well.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah, taking ownership of yourself and the Dawah you're doing, basically. And what I mean by that is, firstly, it's responsibility, basically. Be responsible and take ownership of what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, right? And if you're leading the team or the table, or whatever the activity is, then take ownership of that situation, because it's very easy. What we do these days, bro, as soon as something goes wrong, we find the first person to blame, right? It's not going to get you anywhere, right? So you have to take ownership. If you're leading it, then be prepared. The things may go wrong. Things happen sometimes. And then, okay, you have to be responsible for it and be prepared for that. So ownership is key, I think. Taking responsibility for your activity.
Absolutely. And if you're given responsibility, take that responsibility, like I have for live streaming on Saturday, inshallah. The sister says, yeah, I've repeated what you said because I thought it was good. My one for O was Omen. Okay. Omen. Okay. I'll give you an O. I'll give you an O. O for oneness. For the Go Rap. Check out the Go Rap. Yeah. Oneness meaning talking about who Allah is. Me keeping your Dawah Tawheed centric, Tawheed focused. Talk about the oneness of Allah in your Dawah. That's all part of your Dawah. There's a comment here, brothers. Sister H, who was here last week. Sister, Assalamu alaikum. I tried emailing Stream Islam like the brothers advised in the last live stream email address, but the email wasn't delivered. Can you just confirm what email address you sent it to, sister? I don't know why that hasn't been sent. So let's try and resolve that. Please give me the email address that you sent it to. And Brother Hassan, if you're listening, can you message me what the email address is so I can send it to the sister, please? Thank you. All right. Brother Brother Hassan, you listening? Yeah. Oneness is good. Oneness, absolutely.
Oneness.
Yes, good. Alhamdulillah. Okay. There's I don't know if it says. Yeah, it's fine. Are we done? That's it for.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think that's good.
All right. Let me try and get this email address for you, sister. 1 second. One second. Let me message him. Stream. All right. Talk amongst yourselves, people, while I'm doing this.
Are you trying to find Stream Islam email? Okay.
Here's a message for you. It's talking about you, Imran. Why do Dawah boys always run away when the questions are difficult? There's always a motivation to be right all the time. People look at that. People
well, if you see, I was leaning towards saying if you give some specific situations, but I don't think that's a good idea. But to be honest, I haven't seen them. I don't know what do you mean by run away. It's like I haven't seen it happen, to be honest. Like I've seen the opposite happen, where Dawah guys actually just go in and try to answer everything, which gets them in trouble. Running away may be a good idea sometimes. You know, we're not running away, but you know, just saying, look, I don't know. Let's just stick to what we do know, what I can share with you.
Yeah, man. Alan, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's happened. Who have you got beef with, man? But yeah, if you've got any questions or anything, like give us a shout in it. Let us know what's going on. All right, here's another one. Outreach work. Outreach work is part of the good. Yeah, outreach work is part of the Dawah. I think. We've always said, use it as a platform for Dawah. Use the outreach work as a platform for Dawah. Right. Sorry, sister. I haven't got a reply back from the brother, so I don't know what the email address is. But look, message us, email us on our. Or you said you've got YouTube. Just message us on YouTube.
On Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. She
hasn't got social media. She's only got the YouTube and Gmail. So please message us on our. Can you message on YouTube? Can you do that? I don't know.
I don't think so.
You're not messaging inbox? Imran, your mic's off.
Don't think so.
I think they can put a message in the private chat. I think they need a link for the stream. So I don't think otherwise they can.
Okay.
Sister, please message us somehow, and we'll try and get the email address to you. I don't know. I will try and do what we can. On that note,
put it in the comments after once the video finishes live. We'll put it in the comments.
Yeah, on this live stream, if you just put your comment on, so we can try and get a look at it, inshallah. If you go to the Stream Islam channel and do it there, please, because then I'll get Brother Hassan, station manager, station manager, to have a look at it, inshallah. On that note, brothers and sisters, we're going to finish there, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan for all your input, for all your contributions to this. We've been told we can't. Okay. And we will be back next week. So we got to O, right? No, we got, what are we on? P.
O.
What's after O?
We finished O.
P. Yeah, P.
P now.
Right.
Next.
We'll continue with P next week, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair to my brother Imran for joining us, man. Imran, bro, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to come every week, man.
Yeah, I'll jump on whenever as soon as, inshallah, whenever I can, I'll jump on. Inshallah.
Yeah, man, definitely. You're more than welcome to, man. It was good to have your input on this stuff, man. Really good, alhamdulillah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair, Richie. And Jazakallah khair to you all. We will see you, inshallah, next week. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.